All right, so today we're prepping for a water treatment plant manager interview. Pretty cool, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's a critical job, you know, ensuring safe water for everyone.
It really is. We're diving deep into the career guide and interview guide from RoleCatcher
Oh, good
to
stuff.
help you really nail this interview. We'll cover those tricky questions they love to ask,
Love those.
plus sprinkle in some career insights
No, yeah,
to help you shine. Think of this as your secret weapon
I like it. Secret weapon.
for interview success.
All right, let's do this.
So, you think water treatment plant manager.
It's a lot more than just treating water. You
Yeah.
know, it's the whole system. It's the storage. It's the distribution. It's the regulations. The team is a huge responsibility.
Like a conductor.
Yeah.
Keeping everything, all the instruments in harmony to create this beautiful symphony of clean water.
Exactly.
But before we jump into the interview questions,
Oh.
I'm always curious about the why behind a career path. And the career guide talks a lot about knowing your why.
Right. And, the interviewers are often going to start with that. Why this career?
Mm.
Why water treatment? They want to understand what makes you tick, what sparked your interest.
So it's not just having the technical know-how, it's
Mhm.
having that passion, that genuine passion for providing safe, clean water.
Absolutely. It's about connecting your individual why to the bigger impact of this job. So think about what drew you to water treatment in the first place. Was it a specific course you took? A project you worked on? Were you always fascinated by the science behind it all?
I mean, maybe you grew up near a plant
Yeah.
and you were curious about how it all worked.
That's it. That's the kind of thing, let that genuine interest come through in your answers.
Awesome. Okay, so let's dive into some of those sample interview questions from RoleCatcher.
All right, let's do it.
The first one is, how did you first become interested in water treatment, and what inspired you to pursue a career in this field?
This is where you set the stage.
Mhm.
You share your passion, your journey. They want to see that spark, that initial interest. Imagine it like you're telling a mini story. How did you discover this field? What experiences or insights made you realize this is it? This is the path for me. Was there a moment where it just clicked for you?
Mhm. And then they might follow up with, what specific aspects of water treatment are you most passionate about?
Oh, that's good.
Are you drawn to the treatment process itself? Are you more into the regulatory side, the challenge of managing a team?
Exactly. They're gauging whether your interests truly align with the role. All right, ready for a weightier question.
Oh, let's hear it.
How do you ensure compliance with regulatory requirements and maintain water quality standards at the treatment plant? This one goes straight to the heart of the job.
No room for error here.
Yeah.
This is serious business.
This is serious business.
It's all about showcasing your expertise
Yes,
in regulations and water quality.
absolutely. So you want to start by highlighting your deep understanding of those regulations. You could mention specific monitoring and testing procedures that you've used in the past. You mentioned the Safe Drinking Water Act in your materials. Have you been keeping up with those discussions about the proposed updates to address PFAS contamination?
I have, yeah.
That could be a great thing to bring up. It shows you're aware of current issues.
Yeah, absolutely. Demonstrating that you're up to date
Right.
on the latest industry developments shows you're serious about this.
Mm-hmm.
And they might even follow up with, can you describe a time when you had to implement a new regulation or procedure to improve water quality?
Exactly. They're looking for real-world experience here,
Mhm.
how you've tackled challenges and implemented change effectively.
And speaking of real world,
Yeah.
how about this one? How do you manage and train staff at the water treatment plant?
Teamwork.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
They want to understand how you motivate, how you train, how you help your team grow.
So it's not just about giving orders.
No.
It's about fostering a culture of learning
Mm-hmm.
and development.
Exactly. Share your leadership style,
Mm-hmm.
but back it up with some solid examples.
Mm-hmm.
Tell them about a time when you coached someone, help them reach their potential, maybe how you handled a tricky team dynamic,
Mm-hmm.
or a successful training program you put in place. Think of a time when you helped someone on your team shine.
I love that.
That's what they want to hear.
And they might follow up with,
Right.
how do you foster teamwork and collaboration among staff?
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about individual skills, it's about that synergy.
Right. You need everyone working together.
Yeah, to create that beautiful symphony we were talking about.
Uh,
Okay, ready to juggle some tasks?
Always. Hit me.
All right. How do you prioritize tasks and manage competing demands at the water treatment plant? This shows a balancing act.
It is. It is.
They want to know how you stay organized,
Right.
focused.
Under pressure.
How do you keep all those balls in the air without dropping any?
I love that analogy. Break it down for them. Do you use project management tools? What's your system for prioritizing? How do you handle those curveballs?
Yeah.
The unexpected things that pop up. The key is to show them you have a system. You don't just crumble under pressure.
Yeah, you thrive under pressure.
Exactly.
And they might follow up with, describe a situation where you had to handle multiple urgent issues simultaneously.
Ooh, I like that.
How did you approach it?
They want to see your prioritization skills in action.
Okay, let's talk money. Question 5. Describe your experience with budgeting and financial management at the water treatment plant.
All right, show me the money.
This is where you demonstrate that you're fiscally responsible.
Absolutely. So tell them about your experience with budgeting, with cost analysis, with financial reporting. Did you find a clever way to save the plant some money? Optimize resources.
Ooh, yes. I love when that happens.
That's the kind of savvy they're looking for.
And they might ask, how do you balance the need for cost effectiveness with maintaining high water quality standards?
It's a delicate balance, right?
It is. It's about finding that sweet spot.
Absolutely.
Where quality doesn't suffer for savings. Okay, time to put on that environmental superhero cape.
I love it. I'm ready.
What steps do you take to ensure that the water treatment plant is operating in an environmentally responsible manner?
Ooh, good one.
This is about showcasing your commitment to sustainability.
It is.
It's about going beyond just clean water.
Absolutely. And I think this is where you highlight those specific initiatives you've been involved in. Things like waste reduction, energy efficiency upgrades. Have you explored renewable energy options for the plant?
Right.
Mentioning these concrete actions really shows your dedication to environmental responsibility.
And they might follow up with, what emerging technologies or trends in sustainable water treatment are you most excited about?
Oh, that's good.
They want to know you're forward thinking. And you're curious about innovation in this field.
Absolutely. Always learning.
Now, before we jump into more questions,
Okay.
I want to touch upon some of those career insights from the RoleCatcher Career Guide. It talks a lot about professional development,
Right.
especially certifications. The Certified Water Treatment Operator,
Yeah.
the Certified Wastewater Treatment Operator, the Certified Professional in Water Treatment.
These certifications are a big deal. They show you're dedicated, that you have the expertise. It's a signal to employers, that you're invested in your professional development. You're committed to staying at the forefront of the field.
And speaking of career advancement,
Okay.
the guide also mentions the importance of networking. Attending industry conferences, joining professional organizations like the American Water Works Association, the Water Environment Federation.
Yeah, those conferences are great. You get to connect with other professionals, stay updated on trends, maybe even find a mentor. It's not just about those presentations, it's about those hallway conversations,
That's where the magic happens.
That's where the magic happens.
Okay, before we dive back into those interview questions, let's take a moment to talk about how RoleCatcher can help you nail this interview. It's like having AI as your interview prep buddy.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Great, so cool. And it goes beyond just offering these guides. It actually helps you tailor your CV and your resume to each specific job description.
That's right.
It's like having a personal application optimizer.
Think of it as your AI career coach, It analyzes those keywords, the skills in the job posting, and suggests ways to highlight them in your application. It helps you speak their language.
I love that. It also offers AI-powered interview practice.
Oh, yeah, this is fun. So you practice answering common interview questions. The AI gives you feedback, on your delivery, your content, even your body language. So it's like having a mock interview with an expert, but you can do it from the comfort of your own home.
So convenient. And, for those who are proactive, there's RoleCatcher's reverse matching system.
Have you opted into that?
I have. Have you?
Yes, I love it.
It's a great feature. It lets employers come to you. You create that detailed profile, highlight your skills and experience, and boom, employers searching for candidates just like you can find you.
That's how you stand out.
That's how you stand out. All right, ready to tackle some more of those interview questions?
Absolutely. Let's go.
All right, describe your experience with emergency response and crisis management at the water treatment plant.
Ooh. This is intense. Have you ever had to deal with a major incident at a plant?
Once or twice.
Yeah. It's where you have to stay calm under pressure. Water treatment plants, they can face some unexpected challenges. Equipment failures, natural disasters, even security threats.
Right.
They need a leader who can assess the situation, make quick decisions, guide the team through a crisis.
So how do you show them you're that leader?
Walk them through a time you handled a crisis effectively. What was your role? How did you assess the situation? What steps did you take to resolve it?
The focus should be on your problem-solving skills.
Yeah.
Your ability to make those critical decisions when it really matters.
And they might follow up with, what systems or procedures have you implemented to improve emergency preparedness at a water treatment plant?
Right.
It's not just about reacting, it's about mitigating those risks.
Precisely. It's about having that plan in place before you need it.
I like that. Okay, number 8. Can you describe a time when you had to make a difficult decision related to water treatment plant operations? This question probes your judgment.
It does, yeah.
Your ability to weigh those different options when the stakes are high.
Absolutely.
So you're demonstrating your ability to make those tough calls.
Yes.
It's not always black and white, is it?
Definitely not. No.
Right.
So share an example, but don't just focus on the outcome. Explain what was at stake, how you gathered information, what were your options, and why you ultimately chose that path.
The focus should be on your reasoning, not just the outcome.
And they might follow up with, looking back, would you have approached that decision differently? What did you learn from that experience?
They want to see that you're capable of reflection, of learning, of growing from those choices.
Always learning. Okay, how do you stay up to date with industry trends and best practices in water treatment?
This is a good one. This industry, it's constantly evolving.
Constant.
New technologies, new regulations, new best practices all the time.
So you can't just rely on what you learned in school.
No,
Yeah.
you got to keep learning. So mention those conferences you go to, professional organizations you're a member of. Are you reading journals, taking online courses? Have you presented your own research?
Oh, wow.
Show them that you're actively pursuing knowledge.
That commitment to lifelong learning is key. They might follow up with, what recent advancements in water treatment technology have you been most impressed by? They want to see that spark, that curiosity for innovation in the field. Now, before we move on to the next question,
Okay.
let's revisit the career guide for a moment.
All right.
It talks about seeing this role as a stepping stone. Being a water treatment plant manager isn't a dead end.
No, it's not the final destination. It's part of a journey.
Exactly. It highlights pathways. Becoming a plant director, moving to larger facilities, or maybe even transitioning into roles in regulatory agencies or consulting firms.
Yeah, lots of options.
Lots of paths to success in this field. And the guide also emphasizes building a strong portfolio. It calls it your brag book.
Oh, I like that.
What kind of things should go in a brag book?
Think of it as your showcase, those successful projects you've led, the challenges you've overcome. It's tangible evidence of your skills and accomplishments.
Bringing your experience to life. Okay, ready for another question?
Hit me.
How do you approach problem solving and decision making in a water treatment plant setting?
Okay.
This one seems pretty broad,
It is.
but it's your chance to show off those analytical skills, those critical thinking abilities.
Yes. I would suggest structuring your answer around a specific problem that you've encountered. So, describe the problem. How did you gather information? What options did you consider? And what was your rationale behind your final decision? This really shows them, your problem-solving framework and your ability to make those data-driven decisions.
They might follow up with, can you give an example of a time when you had to make a decision with limited information?
Oh, that's a good one.
Sometimes you don't have all the data that you want.
Right.
They want to see how you handle those situations, those ambiguous situations.
It's a great test of judgment. Can you make the right call even with uncertainty?
All right, and before we wrap up this section, let's touch upon how RoleCatcher's AI can help you ace those interviews.
AI to the rescue.
So RoleCatcher's AI can analyze your video rehearsals
Oh, wow.
for interview practice, and it can provide feedback on everything.
Everything.
From your body language, to your tone of voice, to the content, to the pacing.
It's incredible. It's like having that personal interview coach right in your pocket,
I love that.
providing you with those tailored insights to help you improve.
It's incredible how technology can help us refine our communication skills and boost our confidence.
Absolutely.
Okay, ready for more questions?
Let's do it.
How do you manage and motivate a diverse team at a water treatment plant?
Oh, a great question. So, highlight your understanding of diversity and inclusion and how those principles really shape your management style. It's not just about having a diverse team, it's about fostering a sense of belonging. Everyone needs to feel valued, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what kind of examples could you share to demonstrate that commitment, to diversity and inclusion?
You could talk about, how you've created a culture of respect, of open communication. Maybe you've addressed unconscious bias in hiring or promotion practices, or perhaps you've mentored employees from diverse backgrounds, helped them develop their skills, advance their careers. If you've implemented any specific diversity and inclusion initiatives at your plant, those are great things to talk about.
And they might follow up with,
Yeah.
how do you ensure that all team members feel valued and have equal opportunities for growth?
It's about creating that level playing field where everyone has a chance to shine.
A true sense of belonging.
Exactly. Okay, let's move on to number 12.
Okay, what's next?
Describe a time when you successfully implemented a new technology or process at a water treatment plant. This is where you highlight your ability to adapt to change, embrace innovation, drive improvements.
It's about showing them that you're not a...
They do. And they might follow up with, what steps did you take to ensure staff buy-in and successful adoption of that new technology or process?
Because change is rarely smooth sailing.
It's not.
So they want to see that you can bring people along with you.
Yes. You're a leader who inspires, who motivates.
Okay, how do you approach cost reduction and efficiency improvements at a water treatment plant?
All right, time to put on that financial strategist hat.
Yeah, because these plants need to be financially sustainable, so demonstrating that ability to optimize and find those cost savings is key.
Absolutely. So share some specific examples. Did you negotiate better rates with suppliers, reduce energy consumption? Maybe you streamlined a process to eliminate waste, Highlight your analytical skills and that ability to really pinpoint those areas where improvements can be made.
They might ask, can you describe a time when you had to balance cost reduction measures with maintaining high safety and quality standards?
You can't cut corners when it comes to safety and water quality.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's about finding that equilibrium, that balance. That's it.
All right. How do you stay informed about changes in water quality regulations and industry best practices?
Continuous learning.
Yes, it's essential. This field is always evolving.
This.
So it's about being proactive, staying ahead of the curve. What are some effective ways to stay updated?
I think it's important to stay current on your subscriptions to those industry journals. Are you involved in any professional organizations,
Yeah.
attending conferences, webinars, engaging in online forums and communities? Share those resources, those strategies you use.
And they might ask, what are some of the most significant changes in water quality regulations or best practices that you've had to adapt to in recent years?
It's about showcasing that adaptability,
Yeah.
being agile in this ever-changing landscape.
Absolutely. All right. Describe your experience with developing and implementing safety protocols at a water treatment plant. Safety is paramount. Absolutely. It's critical in this environment. And they want to see your commitment, creating a safe workplace for everyone. So talk about those specific safety protocols you've developed or implemented. Have you conducted safety training programs, oversaw safety audits? If you've spearheaded a new safety initiative that led to a reduction in accidents, that's a powerful story to share.
And they might follow up with, how do you promote a culture of safety among staff?
It's about making everyone a safety advocate.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Describe your experience with working with regulatory agencies,
Okay.
such as the EPA or state environmental agencies. Water treatment plants operate under a lot of regulations.
They do.
So it's crucial to show them that you understand the rules of the game
Yes.
and that you can work effectively with those agencies.
Right. Share examples of your interactions, whether it's submitting reports, coordinating inspections, maybe resolving those compliance issues. Highlight your communication skills, your ability to build rapport with those agencies. It's about finding that balance between compliance and collaboration.
They could ask, have you ever faced a situation where you disagreed with a regulatory agency's interpretation of a rule?
Oh, that's interesting.
How did you handle that situation?
Yeah.
You know,
Diplomacy is key.
it's about advocating, but, professionally,
Absolutely.
respectfully. Now, before we dive into the next set of questions, let's take a quick break from the interview prep and revisit the RoleCatcher Career Guide. It highlights professional organizations,
Yeah, okay.
like the American Water Works Association and the Water Environment Federation.
These are great organizations to be a part of. They offer so many valuable opportunities, for networking, for professional development, staying on top of industry trends. They host conferences, they have training programs, certifications, publications. All these can really boost your career.
Yeah. And speaking of support, the guide also mentions finding mentors.
Oh, mentors are fantastic.
Yeah.
They can provide invaluable guidance, advice, support as you navigate your career path.
Absolutely. Okay, let's get back to those interview questions.
All right, let's do it.
Describe a time when you had to deal with a customer complaint or concern related to water quality.
Okay. This one's all about those customer service skills and your ability to handle sensitive situations with professionalism and empathy, because water quality, it's a sensitive issue.
It is.
They want to see that you can address those concerns, effectively and maintain that positive public image for the plant and for the community it serves. So choose a situation where you successfully resolved a complaint, explain how you listened to their concerns, investigated the issue. Did you communicate clearly and transparently? Did you find a solution that satisfied the customer? It's about showing that you take those concerns seriously and that you're committed to providing excellent service.
And they might follow up with, what steps have you taken to improve customer communication and satisfaction at a water treatment plant? It's about building those positive relationships
It is.
with the community. All right. Describe a time when you had to make a difficult decision that involved balancing competing priorities, like cost, safety, environmental concerns.
Oh, this is a tough one. So this is where, sometimes as a leader, you have to make those tough calls where there's no easy answer. They want to see that you can weigh those complex factors and make the best decision for everyone involved. And it's not just about the decision itself, it's about the process. So, choose an example where there were some trade-offs. Explain those different priorities, those potential risks and benefits, why you ultimately chose that particular path.
And they might ask, looking back, would you have made the same decision?
Oh, that's a good one.
What, if anything, would you have done differently?
Yeah. They want to see that you're capable of reflection, of learning from your choices, even those tough ones, growing as a leader. All right, let's move on to question 19.
All right, what do we got?
How do you ensure that the water treatment plant meets its operational goals and objectives? So this is about setting those goals, tracking progress, holding yourself accountable, holding your team accountable for results.
So you're being goal-oriented, you're driven.
Absolutely. And describe your approach to setting those goals. Do you use SMART goals? Have you implemented any KPIs, key performance indicators, performance management systems? Share those examples of how you've tracked progress, identified areas for improvement. It's about demonstrating your leadership, driving that operational excellence.
And they might follow up with, can you describe a time when the plant failed to meet a specific goal?
Oh, it's a tough one.
What did you learn from that experience, and how did you improve performance? Because setbacks are going to happen.
They do happen.
They're inevitable, but it's how you handle them and how you learn from them.
That's what matters.
That makes all the difference. Okay. Describe your experience with maintaining and troubleshooting water treatment equipment. This is where you get technical.
All right, technical skills.
So water treatment plants, rely on a lot of complex equipment.
They do.
They want to know you understand how it all works.
Yeah. Yes.
From pumps and filters to control systems to monitoring devices.
Absolutely. So share those experiences you've had with different types of equipment. What about the maintenance procedures you've followed, the troubleshooting techniques you've used?
Right.
Have you implemented a preventative maintenance program?
Oh, good one.
To minimize those downtimes, or a system for tracking equipment performance to identify those potential issues before they become big problems.
That's great.
That's what they want to hear.
And they might ask, can you describe a time when you had to diagnose and fix a major equipment malfunction?
Oh.
What steps did you take?
That's a test. They're looking for that critical thinking, that problem solving under pressure.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, before we move on to the next set of questions, let's go back to the RoleCatcher Career Guide one last time. It emphasizes the importance of professional development and continuing education, especially in a field like water treatment that is just constantly advancing.
It is. It is.
It's about staying curious and investing in your growth. What are some of the recommendations?
So they suggest attending conferences, workshops, and those training programs that are offered by those professional organizations.
Right.
And, it's also a good reminder to keep up with those certifications we talked about earlier. They really demonstrate your commitment to ongoing learning and professional excellence.
It's all about staying ahead of the curve and showcasing your dedication to continuous improvement. All right. What are your long-term career goals?
Oh, okay.
And how does this position fit into your overall career path?
Yeah.
This question explores your ambition and your vision for the future. They want to see that you're goal-oriented, that you've thought about your career trajectory, and that this role aligns with your aspirations.
Absolutely.
So be honest, be specific about your goals. Where do you see yourself in 5 years, in 10 years? Explain how this particular position will equip you with the experience and skills you need to get there.
Right.
Do you see yourself moving into a leadership role, specializing in a particular area of water treatment? Share your vision with them.
Absolutely. They want to see that you're not just looking for a job, you're looking for a career.
And they might follow up with, what are you most looking forward to in this role?
Ooh, I like that.
It's about expressing your genuine enthusiasm, your understanding of what this role entails.
Yeah, that's a chance to show your passion, your eagerness to contribute.
All right, before we continue with the questions, let's take a quick detour
Okay.
to highlight how RoleCatcher's AI can help you ace those interviews.
Yeah, harness that AI.
RoleCatcher can analyze your responses to practice interview questions, provide personalized feedback on your content delivery, even your use of language.
It's like having that interview coach in your pocket, right? Providing those tailored insights to help you improve.
It's amazing how AI can help refine our communication skills and boost our confidence. Now, before we move on, let's revisit the career guide one last time.
Okay, one last pick.
The guide reminds us that networking is key in the water treatment industry.
It is.
Attending conferences, joining those professional organizations, connecting with other professionals.
That's how you get your foot in the door, It opens doors to new opportunities, maybe some collaborations, mentorships. It's about building those relationships, expanding your network.
And a strong portfolio can really showcase those skills, those accomplishments.
Absolutely. Think of it as your highlight reel.
Okay, ready to tackle some more interview questions.
Absolutely. Let's go.
Describe your experience with developing and managing budget for a water treatment plant. This is all about those financial management skills, that ability to make sure the plant is financially sustainable.
Yeah. Water treatment plants, they operate within budgets.
Right.
So they want to see, do you understand those financial aspects? Forecasting expenses, tracking spending, making those tough decisions about where to allocate those resources. So, share those examples, about developing budgets, managing expenses, identifying cost savings, Highlight those analytical skills and that ability to make data-driven financial decisions.
And they might follow up with, describe a time when you had to make difficult budget cuts. How did you approach that situation? It's about showing that you can make those tough choices.
Right.
While minimizing any negative impact.
While minimizing any negative impact on operations.
Yeah, that's tough. The balancing act.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you promote continuous improvement and innovation at a water treatment plant? This question kind of gets into leadership style. How do you create a culture where people want to do better?
Right, yeah. It's about showing them that you're not complacent, that you're always looking for ways to enhance things, Embrace new technologies, stay ahead of the curve.
So how would you answer this?
So I'd share examples of things you've done to encourage that innovative spirit, like brainstorming sessions, process improvement teams, pilot projects for testing new ideas.
Right.
Have you encouraged your team to go for professional development? Or created a system that recognizes and rewards people for coming up with new things? It's about showing that commitment to constantly getting better.
They might ask, what are some of the biggest challenges to innovation in the water treatment industry, and how have you addressed them?
That's getting at, do you understand how complex the industry is, And have you thought about why it can be hard to innovate? So you'd want to show them that you get those barriers and you find creative ways to overcome them.
Okay, here's one that really focuses on leadership. Describe a time you had to lead a team through a major change or challenge at a water treatment plant. Change is constant, right?
It is.
And these plants can face some tough situations.
Yeah. New regulations come up, budgets get cut, equipment breaks down.
You could have a natural disaster.
Exactly. They want a leader who can handle all of that.
Mhm.
Someone who can stay calm when things get rough, make the right decisions quickly, and support their team through it all.
So how do you show them you're that kind of leader?
Tell a story about a time you successfully led a team through a major change. It could be any kind of challenge, maybe a big investment, a change in how the plant works, or responding to an emergency. Describe what happened. What obstacles did you face?
Hmm.
What did you do? And what was the result? Highlight those communication skills, your ability to build trust, and how you were there for your team during the whole process.
And they might ask, what did you learn from that experience and how has it shaped your leadership style?
They're looking for that ability to reflect, to learn from those tough situations, and become a better leader because of them. Every experience, even the hard ones, they teach you something.
Shifting gears a bit,
Hmm.
how do you measure the success of a water treatment plant,
Okay.
both in terms of operational efficiency and public health outcomes?
Yeah.
This question is about setting standards and then tracking how well you're doing.
It is. You want to show them that you understand what the plant is trying to achieve and that you have a system in place for seeing if it's actually working, both how things run internally and how the plant impacts the community.
So how would you approach this one?
I'd talk about those key performance indicators you use to track operational efficiency.
Okay.
Things like water production rates, how much energy you're using, chemical usage, treatment costs, all of that gives you valuable data. And for public health, you can talk about water quality compliance rates, customer satisfaction surveys, any data that shows the positive impact the plant is having.
They might follow up with, describe a time you identified an area for improvement at a plant. How did you measure the impact? They want a concrete example of how you analyze problems and then find solutions.
So tell them about that new process you put in place that reduced waste, or that upgrade that boosted efficiency. Show them how you tracked those positive results. Using data to guide decisions, it's essential in water treatment.
All right, here's one about handling a crisis. Describe your experience with managing and responding to emergencies or critical incidents at a water treatment plant.
Oh, yeah. This is where things get real. These plants are often at risk for unexpected situations. You could have equipment failures, power outages, natural disasters.
Security threats, even.
Right. It all comes down to having someone in charge who can keep their cool when things go wrong, make those quick decisions, guide the team through it.
So how do you show them you're up to the task?
Share a story from your experience managing one of those emergencies. What was happening? What was your role? What did you do? And what was the result? Highlight how you communicated, solved problems, and handled the pressure.
And they might follow up with, what systems or procedures have you put in place to get better at emergency preparedness and response?
It's about showing them you're not just reacting, you're actually thinking ahead, trying to minimize those risks, and being ready for the unexpected. Having a plan, doing drills, creating a culture of preparedness, all of that is crucial.
Now, before we get to that last question, I want to remind our listener about all the amazing resources RoleCatcher offers
Whoa, absolutely.
to help them prepare for the interview.
Their AI tools are a game changer.
So cool. They can analyze your video rehearsals
Oh, wow.
for interview practice, give
Yeah.
you feedback on how you're presenting yourself, what you're saying, even your body language.
It's like having a personal coach right in your pocket. It can really help you polish those communication skills and go into the interview feeling confident.
Okay. Ready for that last question in this section?
Let's do it.
What are your salary expectations for this role? The salary question. It's always a little tricky.
It is, but you want to be ready for it. Do your research beforehand. What's the typical range for water treatment plant managers in your area? Think about your experience, what you bring to the table, and the specific responsibilities of the job.
It's about knowing your worth, but also being realistic.
Exactly. Instead of giving a specific number, you might offer a range. That gives you some wiggle room in the discussion.
Good point.
Hmm.
And they might follow up with, what are your long-term career goals? And how does this position fit into your plans? They want to see you're ambitious, that you've thought about where you want to go in your career.
It's a chance to highlight what you're passionate about
Hmm.
and how you want to contribute. Show them that you're in it for the long haul.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground. You've got knowledge, insights, tools.
You're ready to make a great impression. Remember, confidence is key. Believe in yourself, showcase your expertise, let that passion for water treatment shine.
You've got this. And RoleCatcher's got your back.
With their AI tools, career guides, interview resources.
Use them to your advantage.
Okay, so we've gone through a ton of sample interview questions, and we've sprinkled in some of those key career insights. But before we wrap up this deep dive, I always love to end with a little something extra, something to really get you thinking.
Right, a little food for thought.
Exactly. What do you have for our listener today?
All right, picture this. You're in the interview and the hiring manager says, tell me about a time you had to make a decision that went against what your team recommended. What was the situation and how did you handle it?
Ooh, that's a tough one. It really gets at your leadership, your judgment.
Yeah.
Can you make those tough calls even when they're not popular? Exactly. Think about how you'd answer that. What example would you use? How would you explain your decision-making process, how you communicated with your team, and how you stuck to what you thought was right for the plant and the community, even if it was hard?
That's a good exercise.
Yeah.
It helps you prepare for those unexpected questions.
It's all about being ready for anything.
Now let's step back for a second
Okay.
and think about the bigger picture of this role.
Right. We've been focusing on getting you ready for this interview,
Yeah,
but there's a bigger idea here. Water treatment is essential to our lives. It's about public health. It's about protecting the environment.
it really is. We turn on the tap and there's clean water. We don't even think about it.
We take it for granted. But behind that simple act is a whole system, a team of dedicated people working hard to make sure that water is safe and available.
And as a water treatment plant manager, you would be right at the forefront of making that happen.
Yeah.
It's a big responsibility, but it's also a rewarding one, I imagine.
Absolutely. You're providing a vital service to your community.
So as you go into that interview,
Yeah.
remember, you're not just interviewing for a job.
It's more than that.
It's a chance to make a real difference, a chance to combine your passion for water treatment with that commitment to public health.
And to environmental protection.
Go in there with confidence, with all the knowledge we've talked about, and with that enthusiasm. Show them what you can do. Let that passion shine through.
You got this. And don't forget, RoleCatcher is there for you every step of the way.
Their AI tools, those career guides, those interview resources, they can really make a difference.
Use them. They can really help you on this journey.
So to our listener who's prepping for that water treatment plant manager interview, we say this: believe in yourself, prepare well, and go make a difference.
The future of clean water depends on people like you.
That's it for this deep dive. We'll see you next time, ready to explore a whole new world of knowledge and insights.